Yeah, I accidentally counted 32 bars instead of. There's that little 4-bar.
But you guys are in.
Yeah, I didn't come in because I was counting 32 bars.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Let's go right to 65. Right to 65. In Carlos's solo. 1, 2. 1, 2, right. Let's gotta be together. So, trombone 2 and the trumpets, you have the same exact pickups. Ba-do-da. Trombone 3 and 4 is different. Alright, one more time. 65. 1, 2, 2, right. lead parts. Let me look. And where we change, we go to this major. Let's go back to 219. Sorry, I'm catching my throat. Let's go back to 219. Just Aiden. And Isaac and Jack. Trifecta. Plus rhythm section. So 219. Oh. One. It's just intonation thing. 219. 1, 2, go 1, 2, 3. Let's start right at 223. Right at 223. 1, 2, 1, 2, red. Okay, can I have everybody 223? I heard your bark this time. Yes, I heard it this time. 2D, 223. Everybody, here we go. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, 223, and What do you think? What do you think?
Yes.
This is a good one. I did. What was your impression of the Woogie after the concert?
Something happened.
Something happened.
It's
I felt
It's a liability.
that surprised me, and I think it was just well, the tempo took off, but also just not getting the line of communication, and then you throw on top of that, I'm trying to get the saxophonist to play a background that's not there. A couple people who weren't here the other day, I did hand back that quiz 4. So if you want to snack it, here's Cameron. If you want to grab your quiz 4, which we took last week, I can go over responses with you very quickly, and then we will get into today's topic. All right, so I think most of you got this the second time around. What are those 2 record labels? They were both actually founded in 1959, became major record labels for the 1960s or of the 1960s. Motown and Stax. Yes, the true false items, the next 4 items went true, 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 false. True, 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 false. A cover record, or if you could call it a cover, was a recording made by a white artist that attempted to replicate or approximate the sound, the arrangement, and the content of an earlier hit by a black artist. They were crafted predominantly to sell to the white teenage market. Number 7, in the 1950s, and the key word here was jazz. In the 1950s, jazz split into 2 distinct directions, cool school and hard bop. Most of you got the next one. Vamps are a recognizable component in the music of
James Brown.
James Brown. Yes. There were a variety of options for name one song whose message and ethos were influenced by the Black Power movement and after the Civil Rights Act and passage of the Voting Rights Act. Give me a couple. Those of you Taylor knew one.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Yes. What? Change is gonna come. Anybody else have? Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I think was the one I got the most.
Could we have used "We Shall Walk in Peace" from Unguided Step Forward?
That's a different, that's more of the spiritual gospel tradition than just the coming from the Black Power movement.
Okay.
Anybody else have something different? I think the most popular one was Say It Loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Number 10, okay, so then we had 3 listening examples. What was the first one that I played? Moanin', yeah, that was Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. The structure of the melody was based on call and response. That's what the structure of the melody was based on. So let me just play that for you, because I think once you listen back with call and response in your mind, you'll hear it. Let's listen. The call. That back and forth, it sounds like amen chords. Amen. The horns pick it up. So you hear that that's the structure. Some of you put the blues, and there are blues tones for sure, but just the structure itself, it's a basic call and response. One instrument and then something replies, or a small group and then another small group replies. Number 11 was David Baker's Shades of Blue, Boogie Down. This is where it got a little wishy-washy. Describe 2 jazz characteristics. The boogie-woogie piano style, syncopation, intonation, blues harmonies, the effect of a walking bass line, swinging rhythms. Those were, I was marking them down as I was playing because I only played the first minute and 44 seconds. So that's what was actually present in that amount of the recording that we heard. And number 12, I think a lot of you recognize that. Baby love. Diana Ross, Supremes. Diana Ross is coming to Wilmington in February. It is sold out.
Oh.
It like sold out in 2 days.
It's like excitement and then I'm
Yes. Yes, it is sold out. Wilson Center, February 25th, or 29th, I can't remember. It's end of February, and it's already sold out. The bonus, I was quite pleased. Most of you got the artist, Aretha Franklin. We listened to this together. It was Dr. Feelgood, and the meter is, you could have just put gospel meter or 12/8. I did that diagramming, but the emphasis really is that's a gospel meter. So it could have either one. So I wasn't expecting you to remember the 12/8. I was more expecting people to remember, oh, that's kind of that gospel sound where the beat that is divided into 3 little pieces as opposed to 2 pieces. All right, so that was the 4th quiz. Last class was pretty much an introduction into hip hop and more specifically rap. So I've got some follow-up questions based on the reading. You've got the same chapter to be read for like 3 class periods. So I want to just ask you, based on the reading and some of you from the research you're doing for your papers, what historically have been the responses to rap music in mass media? What directions have the media gone when discussing rap music? Let's think more specifically, like in the 80s and the 90s. What does media have to say? Alex?
Criminals. It's like
What about it?
They're the ones making the criminals. Stuff like that.
Say again?
That rap artists are criminals.
Rap artists are criminals is one narrative. It's mine.
From that documentary we had to watch last Monday, it was like older white generations feel left out because they don't really get it, and it's like kind of criminalizing, like they criminalize it.
Yeah, so it's very generational. It's generational music. What else? Taylor?
That it provokes violence.
Provokes violence. What is another narrative surrounding violence? Or specifically about violence? the media has promoted about rap music. Do they think it encourages peace? Is that the message that publications and radio stations are saying, that, oh, this rap music, it just encourages such peace and harmony between communities? Charlie?
No, well, like I was going to say again, like in the film we watched, like each artist talks a lot about how they say the truth, like they talk about the controversial topics, like, and that, I know, like, I think it was Ice Cube was saying, like, I'm never going to bite my tongue, like, it all is going to come out, so I know it, like, is saying everything that most people, like a lot of, I know, like older white people, like, don't want to hear.
Yeah. Cameron?
They talk about how it was like an unsophisticated form of music and how it like promotes sexism and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that trope, that thing that it's not sophisticated music, that it's really kind of very simple, easy to do, those arguments were actually made about jazz, that it has very humble beginnings, it's not sophisticated music, you know, and associating rap with kind of the underbelly, the criminal element of society, promoting that image of rap, that connection between rap and being a criminal or glorifying violence, glorifying being a criminal, associating rap with just anything and everything negative in society and putting society's ills on a genre of music, an artistic art form. That is not a new thing. Rock and roll, you know, mothers were clutching their pearls when Elvis Presley was shaking it. My mother wasn't allowed to go to an Elvis Presley show because my grandparents were like, no. So anytime the music is really geared towards young people, there is that aspect of the older generation feeling alienated, not understanding, not appreciating it, talking down about it. But with rap, it became really oppressive. And the documentary talks about this, and in your reading, Maxine Waters actually comes up. Does her name ring a bell? Right now, she is like the bane of the president's existence. Congresswoman Maxine Waters from California. Look her up. You need to know who she is. African-American congresswoman. She was a fierce advocate for the First Amendment. And when there were congressional hearings about rap and how dangerous the music was, specifically gangster rap, how dangerous the music was for society, she was up there in Congress saying, this is artistic speech, this is free speech. We're not going to, we shouldn't be censoring it because it's freedom of speech. All right, Charlie, I want to revisit something that you brought up, which is what they were putting out there, just real life, right? A lot of the rappers. So what was inspiring? What aspects of real life, the lived experience, what aspects of that were creeping into the music?
Are you asking?
I'm asking anybody.
No, I feel like, are you asking, like, what issues did they show?
Yeah, so what was inspiring? Zamaya.
In general, like racism, like colorism, is that?
Colorism, racism, what else? Taylor.
Like low poverty neighborhoods and the struggles they face growing up.
Yes, yes. What else?
Violence, like gun violence and stuff.
And gang violence, the reality of growing up on the streets and the challenges of that, and the reality of, as a result of poverty and poor education in schools where there are predominantly children of color, poor education, having to result to a life with some sort of criminal element. So it's not so, Taylor, go ahead.
They also said that they used their music to spread the news of what was going on where they lived. So if something big happened where they lived and it was going to be hush hush, they would use the songs to tell about it.
Yeah, yeah. So geographically, where are we talking about? What are some of the hotbeds for creativity of rap? What are some of those cultural centers?
California.
Yeah.
New York.
Where in California?
SoCal. San Francisco as well has a deep underground hip hop culture.
Compton.
Compton.
Oakland,
Yeah.
LBC.
Areas outside of LA. New York, different boroughs in New York. Yeah. Philly. Philly as well. Some Chicago, yeah. We're not gonna get into East Coast versus West Coast today. As I mentioned last class, I wanted you to kind of go back to that same chapter and become more familiar with some of the aspects of hardcore rap and pop rap. One more question before we start doing some listening. Female rappers. We will be getting to female rappers, and I know one of you is doing your paper on female rappers, but just based on the reading, based on your perceptions and the listening you've done on your own, or the listening you've done maybe specifically for this class, why was the viability of female rappers called into question? Why was that an issue in the 1990s?
Rap was a very male-dominated genre. So when a woman tried to step in, it was like all the other genres when they tried to step in, like jazz, and when they tried to do all that stuff, it was like the same thing. They're like, you're a woman. They were fighting against gender roles and stuff.
So defined. Okay, so Maya brought that up. Defined, more closely defined gender roles. If you think about how women are depicted, by and large, by male rappers, what is the image? What values are ascribed to a female in a rap song?
Sexed up.
She is sexed up. She is something to be dominated, objectified. Right. Not necessarily revered for her intellect. It wasn't the great praise of Black beauty. We certainly have odes to Black beauty, but by and large, it was as a sex object, someone to be dominated. So when you take that very masculine narrative that had so dominated hip-hop culture and rap music, and then you get women trying to get into it. After all, they're learning alongside their brothers. They're out on the streets. They're learning alongside, experiencing many of the same aspects from a different perspective. Record promoters, label owners were like, oh, women can't rap. It's the same thing they say about female comedians. Women aren't funny. Nobody wants to listen to that because women aren't funny. Women can't rap. What are they going to talk about? Because it's such a male-dominated art form.
Did the maternal aspect of women also play a part, or was it just the...
In terms of not being accepted by... not from the reading that I've... Paris, is this your topic, Paris? Who's doing the women rappers?
I'm doing neo soul.
Somebody's...
Did all the spoken
I
word.
was going originally.
Oh, maybe. Oh, then you changed it. Okay. So that's right. I knew I had heard from somebody who was going to at least originally do that. I don't know that they were seeing them as these are great maternal, soft figures, and because Queen Latifah, they don't scream. Back then in the 90s, weren't screaming maternal.
Well, just like the "you belong in the kitchen" thing. Why are you on stage?
I don't know. I think that maybe they just viewed them perhaps as too soft to be able to really have a message.
And we talked about that before in my African studies class, like the sexualizing of women. Like when you think of the, Aunt Jemima that everybody talks about, you think of her as being like asexual and not having really a love interest. And then considering like Queen Latifah, who doesn't, who's not the most feminine at all times, who reps like masculine sides of her like that. It was just for the, everyone to view that as something different and something that wasn't normal to them. It was, I could see how there was controversy around women.
And there are different, historically there, and we'll talk about this when we talk about more in depth of women in rap. Historically, there are certain images of Black females. Aunt Jemima being one of those stereotyped characters. And these are embedded in our society. These date back to the 1700s, just in terms of, there's the pickaninny, the Aunt Jemima, there are all sorts of these characters, and some of these female characters actually are part of historically why African American women have had such a hard time doing anything, because of the way that they're either this, or this, and that there's like nothing else that they could possibly be. So we'll get into some of those characters. But yeah, so the women were facing barriers. So today we are in the very male-dominated genres of rap. I want to actually start out with, we'll just get into it. I will say this: today's content is explicit and may present themes that are offensive, hard to digest. We'll take it in chunks. And I want to kind of talk about some of these issues that have crept up. But we're all adults, and frankly, it's nothing that you've not heard in movies and on the radio already. But I do just want to put that disclaimer out there because I'm not using censored recordings. All right, hardcore rap. What comes to mind? When you think about hardcore rap, it could be anything. You give me names. It could be subject matter. What comes to mind? Hardcore rap.
Hypermasculine.
Hypermasculine. All right. What's hypermasculine about it?
Aggressiveness and
Aggressive sound, absolutely.
Sinister vibe I associate with, polarization, the male-dominated machismo. I agree for sure.
Good.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
I called you Mo. I'm sorry. Cameron.
Yes. NWA.
Yes. All right. That's a group. What else comes to mind? That's it. All right.
Urban.
Section 8.
Section 8 housing. Okay. Very urban. Yes. This is music from urban centers.
God, I don't want to be wrong. It's like straight out of Compton.
It is. That's NWA.
Okay.
We're gonna listen to that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Super
should be
poetic
wrong.
at the same time.
It is. So
Beautiful.
where is Compton? Where is Compton? It's in California. It's south of Los Angeles. Yes. All right.
Kendrick Lamar, I mean, it's from that area. What would he be? Excuse me, Dr. Blank.
I haven't gotten to him because he's more contemporary.
Yeah. Since we were talking about Section 8 and, him being like an average student and all of this, what
Yeah.
little I've learned about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I digress.
I don't know much about his life.
Right, you don't want to. You want to know about
Anybody?
Nicole.
Whoa. Whoa.
What's that?
We're starting something here. This is why I want to
wish I
read
had heard
papers. This is why I want to read papers. Because I'm going to, believe me,
too.
I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to learn a lot from the research that you are doing. And it will send me down the rabbit hole. All right. Oh, explicit lyrics. That's another kind of characteristic of hardcore rap. Just not holding back, not censoring themselves. Very percussive musical accompaniment. A lot of times kind of punchy strikes, either on a drum set or in a drum machine. Just very accentuated music that goes along with that hardness, the edginess of hardcore rap. I'm going to start with Brand Nubian from 1992. Punks jump up to get beat down. So explicit lyrics, they didn't hold back when they would discuss sexuality, violence against women, politics. They were very derogatory to minorities, gay population, women as well, punks, and just other MCs and rappers that they didn't respect, right? We think about this competition. There's a lot of competition built into the music. Some of this I have video for, some of it it's just audio, and I'm gonna put the lyrics up for this first one. Punks jump up.
Yes.
Oh no, I don't. Wait, I don't have the lyrics for this. I'm gonna play it. Let's see here.
Do you need
It's
my
just
Apple
audio.
Music with lyrics? I don't know if that could be kind of streamed into this.
Oh, there's a tab up at the top right corner that says Punks Jump Up.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. I did have it pulled up.
Yay.
I wasn't sure. I pulled up some lyrics, not to everything though. Okay. So here are the lyrics, and then I just want to pull up the audio. Here we go.
One day when I was riding on the train, I seen these two kids talking about the New Year rain had fallen. I didn't say nothing cause these kids caught my joke. Even for my coat, like a murder that they wrote. So this kid went out swagging, I blazed the broken dagger. So I got to show them who's the macho lot that I am. I can rock a jam, make the world top camel. Yes, I'm the bad man, and bad man with black nigga come to fucking bomb, playing with that. Now I can fit, fly, flow, rip up a party. Dance all night and at the end, call the party. They wanted out the style that was made from my mom and my dad when I was young. I used to run with the notepad. Then got cool and somehow I knew that I was bad to the bone. Like prodigy since the age of 20. I could write a rhyme, rip it up and write the next one right on the spot. Saw my name with the dot diamond, either way it's full beat. Wrong squat more, set up the right jam, everybody hit the floor. Okay, it's Houston, the hard rock, other back, they want to kneel to the brothers. It must be the home for something good and it's just now it's whole right swollen. Why did I have to do it? Yeah, boy, it's man sword, so it don't mean jack to me. It's gone, that's how it's supposed to be. Check it out now. I ain't going out, man, that's what style is dead. Have you heard what I said? If not, ask the jack. He got a can that's bad. Similar to the one that I got from my old dad. What's supposed to get me down? 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 You funk super fast, quick fast, like my name was Flash. When a sucker tried running from a cat, you thought you had a sweet thing, nice pick, but you didn't anticipate that I might be sick now. Who need the trick? Cause I'm not a up. No. I always do the selling if I gotta do the swelling. My name's be smelling, your rectum, cellular, brand new being yo, you gotta respect them, dissect them, yo. I work is born with dogs. Do my what and do my move my strut. And step the hell off before I punch you in your face with a goddamn bass. Then you're gonna taste blood in your mouth. It's gonna flood south to the ground, and you're gonna know how to play around. So if you think you had two soft new jacks, we're gonna have to off you with a few cracks to the jaw, and you won't pop that jump no more. Explain it to your punk friend, you're laying on the floor. Did you want some more? I didn't think so. Just got whipped like a sissy in the click so I suggest you take a bloody messy front piece of wire. Fix your broken jaw, then it's time to retire. Lord, your mom will live long, cause I get strong blows to the heads of my foes. Just blows, give you power as it grows. Watch out, rock fly, you catch the speed, not heat, not. And hell will be your home, Lord, your mom's to death as you swallow the gone.
Alright, we'll stop it there. That was still censored, just not censored all the way.
Did you see that they changed the lyrics?
Yeah, and I've got some information about the change of the lyrics. And these are always suspect. These are pretty good, but anytime you go online for the lyrics, they may or may not be good. I tried to vet them before I brought
Everywhere.
them in. Yeah, it's just you got to be careful. And I would say that too, if you're going to quote some lyrics, maybe in your paper, don't just go off of what you find online as what the lyrics are. Make sure you listen and see if what you found is as accurate as you can possibly get it. Okay, so we've got punks jump up to get beat down. Punks, what punks in this context was the euphemism for
People who you don't like.
okay.
Maybe anyone who tried them?
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Say again?
Is that what you, anyone who wants to try?
That wants to try him. Sometimes punks also is in reference to gay men. That's sometimes a reference
but I didn't know.
that's made. And so I went digging.
Sounds latent.
Yes, I went digging about this in particular and found an interview done like 20 years after this